How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the captaincy choices for Game Week 4. We're going to take a look at two teams which I think have the best set of captains involved going in Game Week 4, and then some differential ones where we'll have a couple from one team and typically one from another team that might be a more of an outside pick, or maybe even just a straight-up standout in that team as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with all and any FPL news and any releases that we do on all of our platforms. And lastly, give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams. And as per normal, we will be doing a deadline stream this Saturday, 1 hour before the FPL deadline. There'll be a pinned comment down below on the video so that you can get more details on that. Now, without further ado, let's talk about with our partners for the FPL season with Fantasy Football Scout. So if you haven't heard about Fantasy Football Scout, they have a fantastic members area during the regular season. It's £25 for the membership, and that lasts the entire year. And during the off season, they give a 20% discount. But if you have missed that discount, fear not, you can still get the membership for £25, and it's fantastic. You can see the membership area just behind me. You have a bunch of different stats that you can use powered by Opta stats and create your own custom tables. You have the Rate My Team tool, you have the season ticker, player comparison tools, a whole array of things that you can use to help elevate your FPL game. So use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to these exclusive tools to help elevate your FPL game. Sign up now. Now, in my opinion, the best fixture on paper is Manchester United at home at Old Trafford versus Newcastle United. And the reason for that is, 1, Newcastle aren't very good. 2, Man United are pretty good with a fully packed Old Trafford. And 3, they kind of have the best player coming back to play for them. I mean, there's going to be a debate between Messi and Ronaldo, but Ronaldo is back with Manchester United, and it will be his debut, assuming that he does start from the beginning, which it seems like he will. He trained today at the time of recording, which was Tuesday, so you think he's got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 4 days training, and then he can play on Saturday. I think he should be fine. As long as he gets the service, I don't think he'll be complaining too much, and hopefully he'll be wheeling away doing the C celebration when he scores his hat-trick or something like that. And fun fact, actually, the last time Ronaldo did play in the Premier League versus Newcastle, they won 6-0 and he scored a hat-trick. So one to keep an eye on. But he hasn't got any stats as of yet because he has yet to play a game in the Premier League. And he came in at 12.5 million, which I thought was actually cheaper than what he was going to be. But I guess they would just kind of put him at the same price as Salah and Kane to make that decision a little bit trickier. You know, if he was way more expensive, then maybe it might have priced him out potentially. But it does mean that Bruno Fernandes, who was probably our earmarked captain for Game Week 4, especially when we built our teams for Game Week 1, his 12 million price tag is looking a bit more expensive now because he's probably not going to be on penalties because that's going to go to Ronaldo. He's going to want to score all of the goals. But Fernandes' stats have been okay to start the season. He got the hat-trick in the first game, but not too much in the second two. 1.59 XGI, only 5 shots inside the box, the majority of those coming in the first game of the season versus Leeds. So I still think Fernandes is a great captaincy shout. I think he can still run in behind the striker as well. I think he can team up with Ronaldo in the box. He often does that for Portugal, making runs into the box when he does play in their system. And I think he could do well this game week. And then Mason Greenwood, someone who the XGI doesn't show that he should be scoring, 0.92, but he's got 3 goals and 7 shots inside the box, and he is clinical when it comes to finishing. Would I be, captaining him over the likes of potentially Fernandes or Ronaldo? Probably not. I think he's good enough standalone player. Don't think you need to be going to captain him, but I think he's definitely going to be one player that I wouldn't be selling going into this week. Because Sancho, obviously, he came back from England duty, for those who've been watching the internationals, and has had a bit of a knock. He was, pictured in, in the rondos in training today. But will he start? Not too sure. We can see a front three easily of Pogba out on the left, Ronaldo through the middle, and Greenwood on the right, with Fred plus McTominay if he's fit, and Bruno in the 10. That could easily happen, but it all depends on if McTominay is back. He was doing work off to the side, but whether he's going to be match fit, we will have to see on that front. But you could also see Sancho playing out on the left. You can also see Martial playing out on the left. I just don't think Greenwood can be dropped at this moment in time, so I'd be hanging on to him as well. But if we take a look at the Newcastle stats, which are just above me here, the last 4 being the same as the season thus far. Shots in the box conceded is 30, which is in the top 5 worst. And then Newcastle are second worst for big chances conceded and XG conceded, only behind Arsenal. Now, XG conceded 8.05, so they're expected to have conceded at least 8 goals this season, which is what? 2 and 2/3 goals per game. So you think United, especially at home, are going to be doing quite well in this one. I mean, on the opening day, they conceded 4 goals to West Ham, or their opening fixture, as it were. So that doesn't bode well for them. And also, they could be without Callum Wilson, who may be sidelined with a thigh injury for a few weeks as well, which could mean that their hold-up play or their threat in behind could be all on St. Maximin, and he can't rip the entire team because it's just going to be basically impossible. You're just going to have somebody crunch him, basically, and then he's going to be down on the floor, and he could be injured, and United will just deal with the set pieces, because with Maguire and Varane, they should be quite capable of doing that. And speaking of set pieces as well, Ronaldo is another threat from set pieces. With Luke Shaw, his delivery is going to help out Ronaldo as well from crosses, and I think that just gives United another attacking option going forward. So for me, I'm looking to bring Ronaldo in. I'm also looking to keep Fernandes as well, and then put the armband on CR7. I just don't know how I'm going to do it yet, and you'll have to stay tuned for my lineup preview and the deadline stream, so make sure to follow us on Twitch for that to see what I do. But basically, Ronaldo's coming in no matter what. He's getting the armband. I think he's the best captain this game week. Now, contrary to popular belief, for those thinking that Chelsea was going to be the second best fixture on paper, I think it's actually Liverpool away to Leeds, personally. And the reason I think that is because Mane has scored for Liverpool, and he actually has a better XGI than Salah, which is something you probably wouldn't have thought of. But it's the fact that Leeds conceding 5 on the opening day to Manchester United. Yes, they were away from home, and they'd probably be a bit more comfortable with fans on the ground at Ellen Road. They may be able to kind of shore things up now that they have Llorente in the team. But you know what you're going to get out of Leeds. They're going to attack you. They're going to go goal guns blazing. They're going to go, up and down the pitch as fast as they can, as much as they can. And Liverpool like playing that way. Jurgen Klopp likes the heavy metal style of football where players are just running around, pressing each other, counter-pressing, on the counter, the ball in behind, pace, 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 attack, attack, attack. That's what Jurgen Klopp likes, and Liverpool is no exception to that rule for their FPL assets, especially Salah and Mane, who enjoy the ball in behind from Van Dijk or Matip. Jota can be a bit of a problem for Leeds, who, they don't have necessarily the most commanding centre-backs in the world, with the likes of Llorente or Cooper or Strauch or whoever's going to play in those positions. But I mean, Jota can win the ball in the air versus a lot of center backs for his height, so he could be in and among the goals as well, especially with Firmino potentially being out for a few weeks as well. It's believed that he has a bit of a problem as well. I think it's like a hamstring issue, which is what is being reported, and Firmino could be out for a few weeks, but we'll have to wait for the press conferences. But if that's the case, and you don't have Tsimikas, I think Jota's going to be one of the transfers in for a lot of managers this week. I don't think I can get him, because if Wilson is out, then it would be another hit and it'd be a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But we'll leave that for the lineup preview. But I think Jota, if you can get him in, I would say get him in if Firmino's out. I'll wait for the press conferences just to be sure, but I think he could be even outscoring the likes of Mane and Salah this coming game week. But I think all 3 of them could be viable captaincy options this week. A lot of managers probably want to have Mane, but Salah and Jota definitely would be on my list. If you look at big chances conceded, 7 big chances for Leeds, so that's over 2 a game, which isn't ideal for Leeds. 30 shots in the box conceded. Again, that's tied with Newcastle, and just not ideal for them at all. Close to 5 XG conceded, and if they didn't have Meslier, they probably wouldn't, They probably wouldn't keep the ball out of the net as much as they normally would. Yes, he probably should have saved the Chris Wood goal that they ended up drawing 1-1 versus Burnley. But I think all things considered, Meslier is a good goalkeeper, and he does keep them in the games more so than not. Leeds will be susceptible, and I think that they're just playing right into Liverpool's hands. Whether or not Salah has to isolate, or if he kind of dodged around the quarantining rules and that sort of stuff, we'll have to see. Jota scored versus Azerbaijan as well in their win, so I think he should be good to go. And then Mane, his stats look great. He has 1 goal and no assists versus Salah's 2 goals, 2 assists, but they have the same number of shots inside the box, and Mane's XG is slightly higher, so you would say that he's even underperforming. So maybe Mane's a shout. And typically it was, a couple seasons gone by, Mane away from home, Salah at home is where the returns come. So would not be surprised if it was like Jota and Mane that did the damage this week, but I can see any one of these 3 being viable captaincy options for Game Week 4. Now, with the differential captaincy choices, we have 2 pretty good fixtures on paper here. We have Spurs away to Crystal Palace, as well as Chelsea at home to Aston Villa. And we'll start with Chelsea first, because the main man up front, the big Belgian, Romelu Lukaku, is probably my only go-to if you were going to captain someone in this fixture. 1 goal, 9 shots inside the box, 1.93 XGI, which could have been, his stats could have been a lot better, goals and assist-wise, because that Arsenal game could have been really, really nasty if he had gotten some of the chances. Basically finished off or had a bit slightly better delivery on some of the balls that were played into him. He could have done some real damage in that game. Unfortunately, we never got to see the full battle of 90 minutes between him and Van Dijk in the game versus Liverpool, with the red card kind of putting a damper on that as well. But I think Lukaku should be good to go in this one. Villa, though, XG conceded a 2.31, which is actually quite low, and on the lower half of the XG conceded list for all teams in the division. And I think that is mainly due to the fact that Emiliano Martinez is a fantastic goalkeeper. Now, he's gone on duty with Argentina, and he was going to have to quarantine when he comes back anyway, even before all the controversy with the whole Argentina-Brazil game where they were trying to deport them and all that sort of stuff. And there could be fines and whatever nonsense is going on there as well. So they're going to have probably Jed Steer in goal, who hasn't played much minutes at all in the Premier League for Aston Villa since Martinez has come in. And I think Lukaku could definitely score quite a few. Jed Steer, we don't know how good of a goalkeeper he is in comparison to Martinez, but we know that Martinez is pretty good, and he's the one who kind of keeps Villa in games and lowers the goal total more so than what it could potentially be. As well as the centre-backs, Mings and Konsa, I think stylistically they want to be a bit more brutish. They want to be a bit more using their power and strength, and they want to basically, bully the attacker that they're going up against. That's not going to work with Lukaku. He's going to be like, did you see what I did to Pablo Mari? I'm going to do the same thing to you as well. Now, I think that, Mings and Konsa are way better defenders than Pablo Mari, but I think that Lukaku could still get his way if you play into his hands. I think you need to let him try to dribble the ball a little bit first with his face looking at goal, rather than his back to goal. With his back to goal, he can really, really cause problems for you and pin you in the position and make you foul him, or you get spun in behind, and then you're in real danger after that as well. So I think Lukaku is definitely a good shout. However, there is an injury doubt over Lukaku. He did say in a post-match interview in the last game that Belgium played, he said that, yeah, there could be something, with my thigh that we have to scan, and, he kind of was like, I've been playing with it, and it's fine, but we're going to do a scan. So maybe one to watch there, or check out the press conferences. So he is flagged in FPL. Someone who's also flagged in FPL is Heung-min Son, who also had to withdraw from the last game that they played. He came off due to injury as well. But the one thing that we cannot deny with Son is that his stats are, for his XGI, he is overperforming them drastically. 2 goals with only 4 shots inside the box, 0.79 XGI. He is taking his chances when he gets them. Now, you can say that, well, Spurs don't really create too many chances, and it could be a situation where you're not really going to get a haul from Son, but it could be a situation where if Son scores, he's going to get max bonus points, which is kind of what happened in the last game. He got 10 points when he scored, and he's gone 10-3-10, so his next game could be a 3, but we'll see. Also, there was another stat I think I saw where it was something along the lines of Son's only scored like once in like 8 times he's played against Palace, which doesn't bode well for him. But Palace's stats are pretty good this season. Only 3.49 XG conceded, only 3 big chances conceded, so they get 1 a game. Now, whether Spurs can put that in the back of the net with the likes of Kane and Son, I think they definitely could. But I think Crystal Palace have done a lot better than what most fans probably thought that they were going to do. So probably one to keep an eye on. But if there is someone who's got a point to prove now that he's staying at Spurs, is Harry Kane. Already taken 2 price drops to 0.3 million out of his original 12.5 million, so now 12.3 million. He's only had 2 shots inside the box. 0.67 XGI. I think he is going to be someone who has a point to prove. He's going to crave goals. He's going to want to continue his quest on breaking Alan Shearer's all-time Premier League goal-scoring record. And he's going to have to do it against teams like Crystal Palace, because it's going to be easier to do so than versus the likes of a Chelsea, a Man City, a Man United, a Liverpool. He's going to have to feed off these lower down teams, or teams that are going to be fighting a lot lower down the table, in order for him to be able to boost his goal tally. And I think he's already a couple games behind. I mean, the likes of Fernandes already has 3 goals. I think Salah has 2 already as well. And even, Lukaku, who's come in 1 game, just 1 game more, already has a slight edge as well. And even his teammate Son has 2 goals. So he's going to be wanting to have it the other way around. Son assisting Kane like it was all meant to do as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for our differential captains and our best captaincy picks. Let me know who you're going to be captaining in the comments down below. Are you going to bring in CR7? Are you going with Big Rom up front? Or are you going with somebody completely different to captain in Game Week 4? And that is going to do it for our Game Week 4 captaincy picks. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new or haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel. And turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Also, drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, whether it be injury news or price changes and all that sort of stuff. I mean, with the internationals finishing, that could be a bit of a nightmare with some players coming back injured, some players having to quarantine and all that sort of stuff, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our FPL preview and deadline streams. There'll be a pinned comment down below to let you know when that next stream is. And lastly, make sure to use the link in the description below so that you can get your Fantasy Football Scout membership. It is $24.99, I believe, or £25 for the whole season, when not during the preseason, where you get the discount. But fear not, the members area is just as good whether you get it with the discount or not. You have all sorts of stats tables powered by Opta stats that you can customize yourself and have access to other members in the members areas tables if they decide to make them public, as well as a bunch of different other tools that's going to help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.